Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? This is Paul with the Network Marketing Insider, number 262. And the question of the day is, well, first of all, the question of the day is, did you know that if you take all the time that you spend working and all the time that you spend commuting to work and all the time you spend sleeping and all the time that you spend, what else, running around doing all those things that you have to do in life, that at the end of the day, most people have but 1 or maybe 2 hours one, maybe 2 hours to themselves to do the kind of things that they like to do. And even if they had more time, sorry, I can't do two things at once. See, I'm already screwing up. Okay, just had to get that out of the way. Even if they had more time, do you think they'd have the money to kind of do those things that they wanted to do? Well, we have a way for you to own your life again by starting a home-based business that's so simple that anybody can do it. It doesn't involve any selling, and the best part is it doesn't take very much of your time. So that is the question of the day every day, as you know. That is the 45-second presentation, and that is how we initiate a conversation with people about network marketing and work our way towards sponsorship of bringing that person into your organization and helping them with their business to grow and build and do all the things that they want to do in their life so that you can do all the things that you want to do in your life. That's what it's all about. It's all about teaching and training and helping others, really, more than it is selling anything or all of that stuff. So the question of the day here today, excuse me, being that this is, what is this today? This is Wisdom Wednesday. June 8th, 2016, and John just sent me a text to let everybody know that he will make his return debut to the Hangouts here on this coming Freedom Friday. So be back. I'm sure we'll have a great show there. Today it's just going to be me, and today we're talking about the question of the day, which is, does network marketing make you an entrepreneur? Well, do you think like one? Because I'll tell you what your title is doesn't make you anything. What you do with what's in here is what makes you what you are. So if you're not thinking like an entrepreneur, then it doesn't matter if you're in network marketing or if you own your own business or if you're just an employee or whatever the case is, you are not an entrepreneur if you're not thinking like one. That's what it all comes down to, okay? So what does it take to think like an entrepreneur? Well, my guess is that, first of all, you don't think like an entrepreneur. Why? Well, because first of all, you were never taught about being one, right? From day one of your existence on this planet, you have pretty much been taught how to be an employee. Do you know why the Unified School District was formed? It was formed, first of all, during the breakout of the Industrial Revolution back in the early 1900s. The purpose of creating a unified school district by the powers that be was because there was a huge desire with all of this industrial revolution happening and all of these big factories and things going up, all this manufacturing going on, that there was a need for a workforce. So the unified school district was designed to teach you how to enter the workforce, okay? To become an employee. Yeah, how to enter the workforce. That's what the Unified School District was designed for and designed to do, to teach you how to enter the workforce. Where in all of that comes entrepreneurialism? Where in all of that is anything taught about how to be creative, about how to look at life and look at things and look at everything around you and figure out how to do something better, figure out how to create something, figure out how to start a business, figure out how to sell your product or service to other people. Where was any of all of that taught? In college, in business class? Not really. College business classes are designed to teach you how to manage a business, not to run a business, not to operate a business, not to own a business. College business courses are designed to teach you how to manage a business so that you can go to work for somebody as their manager. Did you know that most entrepreneurs are not college graduates? Yeah. Look at Mark Zuckerberg, creator of Facebook, okay? Billionaire, dropped out of college. You know, the list goes on. All of those kinds of people figured out at an early age that school is a prohibitive factor in becoming a successful entrepreneur, in creating something unique and original that can make you a lot of money, that you could start a business around and make a lot of money with. So they didn't finish school. They didn't need school. What good is school? I don't want to go to work for somebody. That's all this is doing for me. So where did anyone ever educate, or, where did, you ever get your entrepreneurial education from? Well, most likely, like I said, you didn't. Unless, you were lucky enough to be born into an entrepreneurial / enterprising family, and you were able to learn, the sort of principles of entrepreneurialism, of owning a business and all of those things from your parents, or maybe, an aunt or an uncle or a grandfather or grandmother, or maybe a neighbor. Maybe you had a rich dad, poor dad situation going on where your good friend, his dad was an entrepreneur, your dad was an employee, he was the poor dad, your friend's dad was the rich dad. Maybe you had one of those kinds of situations going on. But otherwise, you weren't given any entrepreneurial education growing up. So does you now outside of school as an adult, becoming an entrepreneur or becoming a network marketer, make you an entrepreneur? No, it doesn't. Okay. But that's also, because of those reasons, that's why network marketing, the concept of network marketing, is so foreign to you. It's why it's so hard for you to wrap your mind around it and see both how powerful it could be for you and how simple and easy it could be for you to become highly successful at it. Because the whole concept doesn't resonate with you. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't equate to everything that you've been taught and learned your entire life about being an employee, about working for someone else, about putting in your time in order to get money. And that's why generally, if someone was to bring you a network marketing opportunity, you're either likely to say, no, thank you. I don't, for some lame excuse reason, like I don't have time, or, that must be some kind of pyramid scheme, or, I can't afford to get into anything like that. Whatever your excuse is, and I'm sorry, it's an excuse. There's no reason why you don't have time, because it doesn't take much time. There's no reason why you can't come up with the money, because you don't need much money. There's no reason why you need to think it's a pyramid scheme, because it's been around forever. There's even a freaking network marketing organization to market legal services of attorneys. Do you think if it was a pyramid scheme or a scam or something illegal, that attorneys would get involved? I don't think so, okay? So it's a legitimate business model. It's a powerful tool for you to be able to become hugely successful, or at the very least, enhance your lifestyle, with some extra income. If you can just think like an entrepreneur. If you could just think like an entrepreneur. They say that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You know, I mean, that's true to a certain extent. I was in a very good conversation yesterday with my mentor, and we were talking about this, that, you know, why do you think it is that people don't take advantage of really the plethora of opportunity that there is out there in the world today? And I got to tell you guys, seriously, right now, in our time, is the biggest in history. I'm not going to say the most unique or original or, you know, never before done, because in all reality, the transition of the early 1900s from the farming and agricultural era into the industrial era was the exact same thing. It was just a smaller scale because there was fewer people on the planet. Okay, and it did involve a lot more money and things like that to get something started, because I mean, manufacturing and you know, industrialism, you know, it just, you had to have a physical location, you had to have employees, you had to have, you know, manufacturing equipment to create products. So the industrial age was a little bit more difficult for, you know, the average Joe to really scale to the top very easily, even though people like, you know, the Henry Fords and some of the others like that, who didn't have an education, who didn't have money. Henry Ford started on the line of a factory and figured out how to work his way up to be, you know, one of the richest men of the world. So anybody can do it. But it's all in the way you think about it. Okay. So let's look a little bit at just some, we got about 8 minutes here. Let's look at just some generalities of, you know, business. So to sort of start getting you thinking towards an entrepreneurial thought process here. What do you think the 3 basic aspects of every business are? Every business includes network marketing, but the basic aspects of every business. Number 1, you have sales and marketing. Okay, you got to sell product. You know, you got to have marketing. You have to have clients, customers, and you have to have sales, because you have to have money coming into the business in order to make it run. I mean, I don't know if you can think of one, but I can't think of a single business that's going to be successful if there aren't any sales being made. Okay, that's just the way it is. Marketing and sales is one category of business that you have. The second one is production, right? What is the product or service? It has to be created, it has to be delivered, it has to be created and deliverable. And the third part is operations, you know, all those things that run the business. You got to have, you know, accounting and bookkeeping, you know, you got to have legal, you know, you got to have HR. If you have employees, you got to manage your employees, you got to have, you know, all those kinds of things. Excuse me, guys. You got to have all those kinds of things that, you know, just operate a business, you know, the management system of the business, all these types of things. So those are your 3 basic areas: your sales and marketing, your production, and your operations. Now, how do these things get done? Who does these things, right? Well, if you're a solopreneur, if it's you and only you in the business, you need to create the product. You need to make sure that there is deliverable product or service. You need to do all of the things that it takes to run the business, to manage it. Excuse me. Shoot. Okay, that's what was going on there. Sorry about that. You need to be the one who runs all the operations of the business, does the scheduling and everything else. And then you also need to be the one who makes sure that, you know, whatever marketing is going out to attract new customers and clients is happening. And then you need to actually be the one who actually sits down and makes the sale. Here's what happens when most people start a business. Okay, you got somebody who is working for somebody else. because they're an employee, because they went through the unified school district system and they came out the other end as, qualified to become a good employee. And they went to work for somebody. Maybe they even took some advanced schooling to learn some specifics about a trade or a profession or something like that, so that they could go in a specific direction, whether it be auto mechanics, a florist, a plumber, an accountant, an attorney, whatever. Some extra, like I said, some extra schooling above and beyond just your, quote, required high school, and even potentially college. So now you've got a direction, you've got a field within which you can now go get a job. And most people who graduate from school don't go straight into starting their own business. Most people who graduate from school go into working for somebody else in the chosen field of which they have of their study. So now what happens is, they go to work for somebody and they're fresh out of school and they have all this knowledge and they know everything, because, at about between the ages of, 15 and 25, you know everything, right? So you go to work for somebody and the person that you're working for is a complete fool. He doesn't have no clue how to run this business. He's not paying you enough money. He's working you like a dog. You're out there busting your tail. He's making all the money, and this is pissing you off. So you say, you know what? I can do this job better than he can. Why should I be working for him? I'm going to go start my own business and do this on my own. Right? That's how most businesses start. So you take your skills, your knowledge, your education, your wisdom about how to do this job, and you go start a business. But here again, go back now. What do you know about sales and marketing? What do you know about the operations of a business? What do you know about production of the product and service? You don't know anything about all that stuff. You weren't taught any of that stuff. You weren't taught how to run a business. You were taught how to work the position, how to do the thing that you do best. You're what's called a technician. Technicians start more businesses in this world than entrepreneurs do. Well, I don't know about that, but I would bet that they do. And most of the businesses that fail are started by technicians because they don't have any idea about the sales and marketing, about the operations, and about the production of their product or service. So now what happens is, you are the person who has to spend all of your time not only getting the clients, scheduling the jobs, making sure everything's all lined up to get the job done, to get the work done, or to provide the product or whatever it is, I'm sorry. And then you actually have to go out there and you have to physically be there on the job, doing the job, performing the service or doing the work or whatever the case might be. You have to be there, because if you're not there doing it, well, who the heck's going to do it? Because nobody's as good as you, right? That's why you left that other company, because they all stunk and you know it all and you're the best. So how can you trust anybody to go out there and do this job under your name and deliver a quality job, a quality service, or quality work that only you can deliver? That's where the problem comes in, because you think that way, you can't ever let go of anything, and therefore you continually have to be the one who does it all. And then when you get done with the job, now you got to go back to the office. Now you got to do all the paperwork, you got to do all the accounting, you got to do all the payouts, the shipping and receiving, whatever, the payroll, if you got an employee, a helper, because that's all you can trust, all the stuff. You still have to do all of that too. And while you're doing that, you got to make sure that you're still working to get more jobs and more work coming in. You got to make sure that's happening. And then, of course, you got to schedule it and make sure that everything's lined up for it to happen and do all those things. And then, the next day you're going to have to go out there and do all that work yourself again. That's how most businesses get started. Most businesses run, and how most businesses either fail or stagnate at that point right there. Guys, that's enough time. That's all the time I got today. I didn't really get too much into the mindset of the entrepreneur and or how all of this really applies to network marketing, but I'm going to pick it up on Freedom Friday, and we're going to run with this a little bit further. And I hope you enjoyed this show today. Think about that. What were you taught to be? And do you think like an entrepreneur? What's it going to take to think like an entrepreneur? We'll get into that. Oh, universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever ends I might desire, that of an entrepreneurial spirit, mindset, and success. And everybody, we'll see you back here on Freedom Friday, same time, 8 a.m.